Hello friends, another beautiful day here, so thought I'd do a video. I want to talk about the movement challenge that I'm doing this year. There's two things that I'm doing every day this year. One is the Course in Miracles workbook exercises, and the other is a movement challenge from my friend Christian, who's in the Curiosity Department of the Service Guild. And the challenge is to spend some time moving every day, doing some sort of movement practice that feels good. And I like how he framed it because it's very non-coercive, and it's like, don't force yourself and do what feels fun and nourishing, and have a plan for when you're sick or tired. But yeah, I think I'd kind of revitalized my movement practices starting in the fall of last year with convict conditioning, and then working my way to doing some other things, like starting up Tai Chi again and running and some other things, doing knees over toes because I've had some leg injuries in the past on my right leg. And it felt like a really good, timely challenge for me to spend some time every day doing movement. And yeah, we're now in February, partway through February, and felt like a good time to talk about this challenge and do a little bit of update. I think I've done convict conditioning. I'm doing that twice a week. That's a strength training, calisthenics routine, body weight exercise. I've been doing that since September and have been really enjoying that. And then I'm also started doing running, and there was a time, I don't know, 6 years ago that I was focusing on running training, and I did a 5K and a 10K. Actually a 10K was the only race that I actually ran officially, but I was sort of building up to that, and really enjoyed that back in the day. And then because of my leg injury, knee injury, that had become not so good, and so I eased off the running. But I think I really have a runner's body, and it feels good. And now that I kind of know how to take care of my knee and my leg with the knees over toes guy stuff, it feels good and right and timely to be working on that again. I've had some days where I've done TRE, trauma release exercises, which feel really good for my body, and that's a good thing to have for when I'm sick or tired. Just kind of lets go of a lot of tension in the body, and it's pretty gentle. And I've been reviving my Tai Chi as well. I spent some time a few years ago learning the Sun Tai Chi form and kind of put that on hold for a while, but have been brushing it off in light of this movement challenge. And I think even in the last few days, I feel like I've reached some clarity that, at least for the time being, I kind of want those to be my three main focuses of doing strength training with the convict conditioning routine, and cardio through running in particular, with a bit of supplementary knees over toes guy stuff to make sure I'm taking care of my right leg and my legs and my knees, and also Tai Chi. And those feels like a really good balance for me, where those things just fit together really well and feel really good in my body. The strength training has just been incredible. I'd done body weight strength training in different forms before, and a bit of free weights and that sort of thing, but convict conditioning is, I'd started doing that a bit in 2021, and then kind of overloaded myself doing too many new programs at once, and kind of let that go by the wayside. But I've done, I think, 41 exercises now since September, workouts since September, and almost immediately really started noticing positive effects in my body, where just feeling more integrated and stronger, and aches and pains kind of disappearing and stuff. And I feel really good in my body. Definitely feel a lot stronger, and you really start from the absolute basics. Like the push-ups one, for example, is like wall push-ups, which there's just almost no resistance in a wall push-up, but you're kind of training your joints for higher volumes, and training the form, and there's a specific way you're supposed to do it with like pauses at the highest form and not using momentum. And so you're kind of just practicing. And yeah, I've still pretty early in the progressions, but it's motivating to have something to work towards and a clear plan. And be like, okay, you work up to there's 10 stages of each of the 6 movements. You start with just 4 of them, which is push-ups, a push-up progression, a pull-up progression, a squat progression, and a leg raise progression for abdominal strength. And then later on, after a certain level of mastery, you can add the other 2 movements, which are bridges and handstand push-ups. So I'm definitely not ready for those yet, and still quite early in the progressions, even though, I can do push-ups and pull-ups and normal squats, but you start at the very basics and build up your strength and condition your joints so that they can actually handle the higher versions with ease. And I've really noticed that actually, like, I've been able to do push-ups for a long time, but they're always a little bit challenging. And now if I test just normal plain Jane push-up, it feels so easy. And I don't know what my max push-ups right now is because I'm not really training that. I'm doing like incline push-ups, I think is what they're called, where you use a surface. But my strength is just a lot higher. And I got a suspension trainer for the pull-up motion because it's not always easy to find a pull-up bar, and at least at the progression level that I'm at right now, I forget what the motion is called, but it's pretty easy to do with a suspension trainer. You just kind of pop it over a doorway, and you can do that anywhere instead of using a pull-up bar, which may be difficult to find. Not all the parks and stuff like that have them these days. So anyway, yeah, really, really gaining strength from convict conditioning. And then it's been so good to get back into running. I'm doing the Couch to 5K program again, which I'd done before, and just kind of gradually building up to being able to run for 25, 30 minutes, roughly a 5K for me. And I'm almost done with that program. I started that, I think, in November, December, and I have a few workouts left. And man, my body just feels so good if I'm running. Like, it's really easy for me to get runner's high if I run for more than 20 minutes or so. And my body's just like, yes, please, more of this. And really, because of the knees or over toes stuff, my leg feels like it's in great shape. And I just try to do some of those exercises somewhat regularly, not even really doing a full knees over toes program, but I've just learned the motions and doing some of the exercises here and there, and like the backwards walking when I get a chance. And yeah, all of that feels like it's really strengthening my legs and my knees and putting me in a good position to be able to run. Also really noticeable with the Tai Chi, actually, there were some modifications I had to make for Tai Chi when I was learning it, with the kicks, especially in the Sun Tai Chi form, where I would do kind of simpler versions. But now I feel like I can do the whole kicks, and especially if I'm doing those knees over toes movement exercises to kind of condition my knee. But yeah, running feels really good, and I like also the idea of progressing there. Like I presume I'll work up to doing a 10K again, and I'd also just like to get faster. I'm not that fast as a runner, and but I kind of know from this book I read a while ago, which was Run Less, Run Faster, how you would train that, and in, again, a sort of progressive way. And that just feels really motivating to see that I can just keep getting better at this stuff, and I feel better in my body when I'm doing this. And Tai Chi just feels great. If I do Tai Chi, it generates a lot of energy, like chi in the body, and a lot of presence. Feels really fluid. Your core principle is you're moving really all of your limbs at once in harmony, in a synchronized way, and without gaps, very fluidly. And so just this beautiful, beautiful movement form. And it's also martial, which I think is interesting. I don't know as much as I'd like about all the martial applications of the different movements. I'd like to learn more about that, but that's kind of feels good in the body also. And sort of makes me feel more balanced and just fluid and integrated in my body, and really my body-mind, where it's about presence and awareness and mindfulness, and bring all the practice that I've done with that into motion. So yeah, that's been really good to brush off. I've been brushing it up, the Sun Tai Chi form, rewatching some videos from Stanwood's class that I took in 2021. I had Stanwood on my podcast and did some Zoom classes with him, and have been going over those and kind of learning more about reviewing each section of the form slowly. And yeah, I'm also doing 5-minute flow every morning. I've loved that routine for a long time, which Max Schenk created, which is just you do 5 minutes of free unscripted movement every morning right after waking up. That's been a habit that I've had off and on over the years and really love doing, and feels nice to do as a complement to this more formal training. And I've been throwing some other things in there when they feel good, like doing some squatting and some hanging and stuff like that. And I just feel really embodied because of this challenge already. And I kind of eased off my movement practices there for a while, and that made sense at the time, but it feels good to be getting back into it. And in general, a sense that I'm healthier and happier when I move my body, and things just go better. Feels like I'm integrated in my body mind and can work towards things I care about that way. So feels really good. I'm really grateful to Christian for initiating this challenge. He's doing some movement coaching and offerings that he's starting to build up. So definitely recommend working with him if you get the chance. I was in Scotland for a bit with him last year to meet in person, and got to do some training with him at the gym space that he rents, and he does Fighting Monkey, and took me through some of those exercises, and just an incredible movement teacher. Really grateful to be his friend and be connected to him, and that he's doing this challenge. Really love how he framed it. It's like, yeah, move every day, but it's not like a certain set amount of time, or you have to stick to the same format. It's pretty flexible and non-coercive, the way that he framed it, and that feels good. Not into forcing, not into coercion. And really, for me, movement feels like it should be fun and playful and enlivening, rather than, like a task or an obligation or something. And yeah, I know when I've connected to that, that's how it feels good to do. And I like that with the 3 disciplines that I'm doing right now. They're all, like, you could say, competing against yourself to get better. I'm not competing against someone else. It's not for some glory or something. It's just like, oh, can I level up at this? Can I be better at this in my body? Can I feel better in my body? Can I be healthier in this way? And really tangible sense of progression and improvement over time. And you can feel it. Just the way that I'm holding my body and feeling in my body feels different and better, and my mood is better, and that's good for all the things. So anyway, that's my update mid-February on this movement challenge. Looking forward to see how it progressed. Maybe I'll do 1 or more updates later in the year about how it went, but for now I'm going to keep going with the strength training and the running and the Tai Chi, and whatever else feels good. It doesn't really matter if I change it up, but thanks for listening, and sending you all love.